I really like the new update to Osu Laser. If you haven't heard, you can now play Ranked Mode, a 1v1 match where you play through a pool of maps until one of you is out of hit points. It's still in the early stages, which is why I think it's really important to share feedback with the devs. Let me be clear before I even start, I really enjoyed playing it, and I hope that more people will give it a chance. I think that this is something that Osu needs, and it's something that the community should really get behind. That being said, there's still a few key things that should be added to make it a better experience. Right now, you get a star rating shown to you at the beginning, and it is very clear that you might get maps outside of this rating. That's fine. What it doesn't tell you is that the map range might be wildly outside of this. There were several times where I got a rating of 3.2, 3.4, 3.5 star maps, only to end up with 4.5, 4.8, and even 5-star maps. Now, before you call this a skill issue on my part, my opponent couldn't play these maps either, leading to rounds where we both got less than 100k. It's fine to get maps higher than the rating or lower, but they should not be so far from the rating that nobody can play them. That's just not fun. There also was a time where I got the same song twice, just with a different star level and mapper. I know that we can only get featured artist songs, which is also fine, I totally understand that, but getting the same song felt bad. Right now, I have two main issues with how disconnects are handled in match. First, you keep playing the map out even if your opponent DCs. This isn't necessarily a huge issue if it's a short map, but when you're trapped in there for 3 or more minutes and maybe you don't really like the song, maybe it's a skill set that you don't really enjoy, and then at the very end you realize you've been shadowboxing the whole time, it just feels kind of bad. I think that your map should automatically end if the other player DCs so that you can just move on, play another game. Also, you gain elo when your opponent drops out of the match. Now, it might sound strange to complain about this, but it feels weird. Especially if you're about to lose, suddenly gaining 30 or 40 elo isn't really rewarding, and instead just pushes you higher into ranks that you might actually not deserve, and then you're just gonna get your trap rocked by the next player anyway, and drop back down. That being said, the person who drops should definitely lose elo. There needs to be some kind of punishment for leaving. But overall, it just feels bad to get rewarded just because my opponent's internet is shit or because they rage quits. So the results screen time already got lowered from 20 to 15 seconds, which I think is a great step forward in the right direction. What I would propose is that we're allowed to close it early and maybe be able to look at our hand again, or have both players vote to skip it, just like we skip the intros for songs. This would just help keep matches feel a little bit quicker. This is coming from someone who likes numbers, but a match history would be huge for tracking. It could show you what maps you played, what score you got, who you're playing, and of course who won. It should also show your elo at the time, and then how much you gained or lost after the match, so you can see, total gain over the course of a night, or longer than that. Again, I had a very positive experience when I was playing Ranked. I even added someone as a friend after a match. That being said, I also know how online games go. I really believe that Osu should give players the option to block or mute someone in-game so that they won't get matched together, or, if you're mid-match already, you can silence the person in chat. This should be accessible from the game screen also, not make me go to their profile in Osu and then, go through all the options and all that stuff. I think having the option to cultivate your experience is really important, and could be a great safety tool for players who are more likely to get harassed like big streamers. Now, to be clear again, I also think that you should be able to add someone as a friend for the game and not have to go to their profile, just get rid of a few of those clicks. So this is both a tool for making friends and also to keep yourself safe and have a good time. This is purely a pipe dream and doesn't actually affect how good the client is, but it'd be really cool if we could get profile badges for our elo each season. Just something that says how high we're able to get for season 1, 2, and so on would really mimic other multiplayer games and give players something to grind towards. These don't have to be very elaborate, and maybe they could get replaced every once in a while in case they're worried about having badge bloat or something like that. I just think it'd be something neat to consider. Ranked Osu is a breath of fresh air and a break from the PP grind. I really believe that everyone should check it out and give it a try. Do you think I missed anything that should be added, or do you think my list is full of crap? Leave me a comment telling me what you think about Ranked mode, and I'll see you in game.